Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Shae.
I'm Landrey.
The concert was amazing. If
Yes.
you like Bad Omens, and well, this tour is now over. It just finished. But if you get a chance to see them the next time around, I'm telling you, buy the freaking ticket. It is one of the best shows that I've ever been to. Arguably, I could say that he is better live than he is on record.
Like audio.
Mm-hmm. And I love listening to them.
Yeah.
Like streaming, but live was a totally different story.
Interesting.
And then I got to see Beartooth also, which is a band that I like. And then President opened for both. Like President was the first opener, which is a new metal band, and then Beartooth, which I like. But everybody was good. Everybody sounded amazing. It was incredible. I had a blast.
I haven't been to like a real big concert like that since probably when we went to Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block.
Dang.
I just don't go to, like, I'll go to like small Texas country or like live music, but I don't, even then though, like that's normally just like per chance, like
If it happens.
randomly come across it. I just don't plan stuff like that.
No,
I don't know why.
I had a blast.
I made it one of my goals this year and we are going to one
Oh, yeah.
together.
Yeah,
so
we are.
It made it.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks is next up on the list.
Yeah, I'm like, it made it into my forte because I literally put it on my New Year's like resolution. I was like, or like mood board. I was like, I want to go to a concert this year. And
Here we go.
We're making it happen.
We are manifesting everything this year.
This year's just cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say thanks to all the people who told us congratulations. We got a lot of those.
Mhm.
So,
Told you congratulations.
yeah, well, I mean, they said it on the podcast. They said it to the podcast. And there was one that said, congratulations, Shae, you're going to be the best aunt. And I was like,
I know, it was so cute. It was so cute. I went back and like looked at like your reply to them, and I liked your comment on our
they're like,
thing.
she's just like liking her own comment.
I was like, whatever, I'm just going to leave it.
It's me. It's fine.
I was like, oh, that's cute. What like you said back, and I liked it. So it looked like you liked your own comment. I was laughing to
It's
myself.
fine. I like my own posts sometimes, so it's
I
okay.
do too.
So it's fine.
No shame.
Same thing. Same thing. And I reiterate what I said.
Mhm. And I'll do it again.
Oh, goodness. Well, this week, my episode is based off of a guy who was dating a girl and her best friend was a witch.
Ooh. Okay. Why does this sound like Vampire Diaries?
Ooh.
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 Spook.
I almost rewatched that the other day. And then I was like, no, I don't have time for this.
It's you just can't fall back into the rabbit hole.
Well, now I'm just going to do F1 instead.
Yes, I am.
Got some backtracking to do.
I've got my tentacles.
I've got my hands. What is it? What is the quote for that?
I don't
even?
know.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to say the other. We don't want to say anything else.
No.
I just
But
thought
you
about
know
that.
what I was gonna say.
I just now picked up on it. Oh, my
Anyways.
brain is just not, so that's fine. Okay, so it started with a man, and his name is Lee Moore, and he is dating a girl named Alyssa. So they started dating when they were 18. They had a rock solid relationship. They loved each other. Alyssa was nice. He was, infatuated with her. She was infatuated with him. They lived together. It seems like they had their own house, like parents weren't involved. So he was a working man. He worked all the time. He provided. I think she worked too, but they loved each other. They said that each other were both just so nice and so kind to one another. And it was just a good relationship.
Very in love.
Yeah. Young love.
Cute.
Don't do it. It's not real.
It's very real.
Don't listen to her.
Don't listen to her.
Also fair. That was today. Someone in the Discord was like, said something about working with their family. And I was like, I could never. And then I was like, I better take that back. We work together.
We actually work together a lot.
That's crazy.
Very well.
In our Discord. That is for us working together. So yeah, that was great.
Jeez.
Like I said, brain, not there. But at some point in time, in around 2007, Alyssa starts getting irritable. She gets grumpy with Lee. Like everything he does is wrong. And she's just mad at him all the time. For like example, she got mad at him because he didn't bring home like coffee grounds.
Okay.
And she was very like rude to him about it. Like he was like, I'm sorry. Like I was working. I'm sorry. I forgot that on my way home. She's like, yeah, you will be sorry. Like I bet. Yeah.
Period, girl.
Period. All over the coffee grounds.
That's me though. I'm like, what do you mean you forgot the one thing I asked you to do?
Yeah.
Me forgetting 700 things to do.
It's okay.
Every day.
I do it too. And Aaron, he's
but I
like,
get it. I get it.
Yeah, it makes sense. But that's where when I was starting out this story, I was like, okay, so is he just like actually not doing like is he just like,
or is she being like over the top?
Yeah, which one is it? Are we which path are we taking?
Mhm.
I couldn't catch the vibe yet. So Alyssa actually sought out the refuge of a friend named Cheryl. She was like, I just need to have a friend because my boyfriend sucks and he works all the time and I just need a friend.
Okay. Also fair.
Yeah. And he understood that. He was like, you know what? I do work all the time. I get it. But you're not you when you're with her. Like you're meaner to me. You have like a darker energy around you.
Mhm.
Your vibe is wrong. She's wrong. Like she always gives me weird, icky vibes. And so he was like, I get that you want a friend. And he didn't tell her not to be friends with her. He just was like, just don't like her.
Mhm.
And like would question her. And then Alyssa would get all defensive.
That's bad vibes all around.
Yeah, it already sounds just so dark, right? And so Lee's uncomfortable, but like I said, he knew he was working a lot and he was like, Alyssa just needs a friend. I'm going to relax. I'm just going to keep going to work and whatever. But during this time, Lee starts to experience really, really bad nightmares where he's like running through the forest and the air around him is like humming and he feels like he's being watched and he's just having really bad dreams. Like he'll wake up like sweating night terror type dreams. And outside of sleep, he also started to begin experiencing things just around him. So like one day he was driving home from work and when he pulled into the driveway, he could see this like black shadow mist just over the whole entire top of the house, like of their home. And he was like, what is that? And it like physically made him start to feel ill. Like it made his stomach feel like it was twisting. And so he's in the driveway, bent over, trying to regain his composure after seeing whatever that was. And of course, Alyssa and Cheryl walk outside and all of a sudden it like dissipates. And he was like, what's that? And who is it attached to? Like something is not right here.
Yeah.
So he just knew something wasn't right. And he knew that it was attached to something just didn't feel right. And he was like, it made me feel ill. I don't like that. And so aside from his weird feelings of Alyssa and Cheryl being friends and kind of was blaming a lot of it on Cheryl because he was like,
sure,
she's just dark. But aside from all of that, he started to hear and see things around the house. So he's starting to hear like creaks or he'll see like a door kind of open. Like it seems like his house is suddenly being haunted.
Yeah.
When it didn't really feel that way before Alyssa and Cheryl became friends. And so one day he's sitting in the living room and he sees a door down the hallway starting to creak open. And he's like, okay, maybe it's Alyssa. He's calling out for her. She's not responding. So he's walking towards it. And when he's walking towards it, he actually runs into Alyssa. Like she ran into him carrying a laundry basket. She had been in the laundry room. So it wasn't, her.
Yeah.
And he did ask his girlfriend while she was carrying the laundry basket, like, hey, have you seen my favorite shirt? I can't find it anywhere. Like he had a specific shirt. And she was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And like dismissively, like shrugged it off.
Tell me where you hiding my voodoo doll. Remember that song?
No, I don't.
It's 5 Seconds of Summer.
Oh, no.
Anyways.
So that same night, Alyssa went to bed early. Lee was like, I'm going to stay up and watch TV and relax and drink a beer and it's going to be fine. And the blinds behind him, like the couch is facing the TV and behind him is windows and all of the blinds are open, even though it's nighttime. We don't do that, but he does. Mr. Lee did that. And you can see just like shadows walking around behind him. He could feel them walking around behind him. And so he was like, someone's trying to break into our house right now. And so he got up to go make sure all of the doors in the house are locked. Like he went to the front door, garage, side doors. Like he went to all the doors, making sure they're locked. And as he's standing at one of them, the doorknob starts to jingle really bad. And so he was like, okay, someone's truly, yes. So he picks up his shotgun and the door flies open and it is this figure of a man that is shirtless, but he's very masculine. He's got muscles but his skin is pale and gray, kind of flaky, like a little red in the flakes.
Ew.
And its eyes are glowing. And he shoots. He's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Shoots, but nothing happens. This creature is not phased. This man is not phased. And Lee ends up with his back to the wall and he's on the ground while this creature comes at him.
What the?
All of a sudden, Lee's waking up. He was having a nightmare.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Got me.
It got me too. Lee was having a nightmare. But now he's seen this figure. And so he continued to constantly have dreams like this, and he kept seeing things around the house. He kept hearing creaks and just weird stuff was happening. And Alyssa didn't seem to care. She wasn't asking about his well-being, even though she could tell something was off with him. Like, she was like, whatever. And he finally decided, like, you know, it's been a few months. I've been trying to ride this out. It's not working. Things are weird. The house feels off. Like, this isn't working for me anymore. So he leaves. And he said the weirdest thing is that Alyssa seemed happy that he was leaving. And so he was like, that's odd to me, but whatever.
Sure,
and
girl. Go off.
It's very strange. Like, why didn't you just leave?
Yeah. If you were unhappy, why didn't you go?
Yeah. What am I missing? I
Whatever.
don't get it either. And so he said that was very odd. But either way, he left and he moved to St. Louis, where he met a new woman and started to date her after a couple of months.
Okay.
And after dating a few months, he knew she was the one. They had the same like soul tie to each other. They felt that. So they got married.
Okay. Well, worked out for him, I guess.
Yep. Seems so. And so they both knew they wanted a family. They both like had the same mentality on life. So they bought a new home together, but it was an older home that needed some renovations, but they were excited. They were excited to start their life and like build a family, have this family home.
So is this going to continue to follow Lee and his new wife?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't like it.
But, you know, even though the house is old and they're excited to start on all of it, they go ahead and move in and they're just going to renovate like while they're there, and they're getting comfortable. And some things in the house are a little weird, but they're not that worried about it. They're like, it's an old house. So one night they're hearing like banging on the wall, but it's not like fast, consistent banging. It's just like kind of like a knocking on the wall. And they're trying to figure out what it is. Claire is kind of like, well, maybe it's the furnace. It's on its last leg. It'll kind of make some noises like that. And Lee's walking around throughout the house trying to figure it out. And eventually he kind of gives up and he rationalizes it like, whatever, it's an old house. There's something going on, but it's nothing scary. We're fine. But shortly after that, Lee is woken up in the middle of the night from a very loud crash in their front room. Like, he is woken up by this noise. And he even wakes up Claire and she hears it. And he's like, hey, you stay here because I think someone's breaking into our home.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go handle this. And he, again, had another gun and went and like cleared the house. And once he gets to the front room, of course, there's nobody there.
Right.
And as he's looking in the window, he like feels a presence behind him. So he turns around and watches his coffee table like move across the room and then flip upside down.
Oh.
And at this point in time, he's kind of like yelling, like, ah, like panicking a little bit. So Claire runs in there like, what is going on? And he tells her, and Claire was like, okay, like she didn't brush it off. She was like, I believe in the paranormal. I just didn't know how to sit in my home and be like, well, my house is haunted. You know, she was like, I just didn't wrap my head around it quite yet. But she believed him, was supportive of what he saw.
Okay. That's good. But we should be asking why. You know?
There are questions to be asked.
Asking why.
But yeah, so Claire did, you know, she was open-minded, but didn't know what happened that night, didn't know how to wrap her head around it. And so she just kind of like, they kept going on. Lee, though, could constantly feel tension in the house. He didn't feel tension between like him and his wife, but just like the air was thick. Like he just felt like something was always just kind of there, just like felt wrong. But they did their best to go on about their daily lives. They would go to work. They would, you know, work outside. Like they do what normal couples do in their homes, especially like a new home. But one day, the couple's doing yard work when Claire decided she needed a rake, so she was going to go to the garage. And when she opens the garage door, she said she instantly got the feeling that she was being watched. It was one of the first times she was actually like, okay, so my house might have something wrong. Like I truly am feeling it. And she gets what she needs and like any smart person, like hightails it out of the room as quickly as possible. And once she's like about to be out of the garage, she feels two hands push her in her back and it physically knocks her to the ground. So she falls face first, like into the ground and rolls over very quickly to be like, who the hell just did that to me? And there's nobody there.
What the hell?
And so she ran and got Lee, and Lee went and checked the garage, scoped it out. Of course,
Nobody there.
nobody's there. And at this point in time, she's freaked out now because she's like, if it had the force to push me out of my own garage, what else can this thing do?
Yeah.
And so they went inside for the night. She was going to take a bath and relax. Lee decided that it was time. He was probably going to look into maybe like a paranormal investigation team, something to kind of scope out the situation a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so while she's in the bathtub, she starts to hear creaking. And she's like, it's an old house. It's fine.
Girl.
And then all of a sudden she's like, okay, well, maybe it's just Lee. So she's calling out for Lee, but it seems like the house is very large. He was not hearing her. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to get out of the bath and I'm going to go look for him at this rate. She gets out, gets a towel wrapped around her. And once she turns around and has her back to the bathtub, she sees that same figure that Lee had seen in his dream with like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it scares her so bad. She falls backwards into the tub, completely submerging herself, submerging her towel, everything. And she feels like she's being drowned.
Right.
But she's able to get back out and she barrels out of there, runs and finds Lee. And he's like, okay, now we definitely need to get help. And she describes what she saw. And that's when it really scared Lee because he was like, that was what I saw in my dream.
Mm-hmm.
So we're for sure on the same page now. So with that, whenever Claire goes to him and is explaining all of this, he's like, it's okay. We can handle it. We'll get it figured out. We're going to call an investigative team.
Call a priest.
The Pope.
Call
the Vatican.
Call the Vatican.
But she's so nervous. And she tells him that in there, she's like, I am pregnant. We have to get this solved because we cannot have something in this house with us.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah. And he was so excited, but also they're terrified. Like, we need to right now solve this problem.
Yeah. We don't have time to play around.
Yeah. And so they immediately do. They find someone they want to call. And the first woman that Lee brought into the house, he said she felt dark, but he was desperate and wanted someone who could do what he needed done to the house. He needed someone who could suss out what's going on. He needed someone who could help figure it out. And he was like, so I trusted her, even though she had a very weird feeling to her. And the three of them sat down. It was Claire, Lee, and the investigator at a kitchen table in their home. And they were all passing around the recorder, asking questions like, are you of human nature? Are you a demon? Are you at this house? What do you want? Why did you injure me? And during this, Lee, you can see him he's slowly fading into getting pale. And he just looks uncomfortable. He looks like his stomach is twisting. He looks sick and he falls out of his chair. And so the two women are now around him asking him what's wrong, what's going on. And he says, I don't know, but in this weird, raspy voice that isn't his.
Mm-hmm.
And Claire was like, that's not my husband. But by the time she says that, it is her husband again. He's back to it. And he's like, what happened?
Mm.
I felt sick sitting at the table. My stomach felt like it was in knots. I started to feel kind of numb. And now I'm here. And she was like, you fainted and you said weird stuff. I don't know. And the investigator was like, y'all have a demonic entity. That's what that is. Y'all have got a demon. Like, if it was a benevolent spirit, it would not be able to have this power over you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call some demonologists, get them in here.
Get it out.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
Do that. So the demonologist came right away. And as soon as they entered the house, they were like, yep, this house is dark. You have a demonic entity. We are going to do some cleansing and we're going to get this thing out of here. Like, point blank period. Let's get to it.
But it's not the house. Like,
nope.
Okay.
Nope. Sure
Okay.
Okay. So they immediately started doing cleansing prayers. They even gave Claire and Lee their own scripts to read of the prayers. And they're reciting them. Like, all of them are reciting it. And halfway through this cleansing, Lee sees the figure, the chalky, scaly, glowing eyes standing right in front of him. And he can feel himself being choked. Like, its hands wrap around his neck and he can feel it. And they can see him choking. And Claire is freaking out. And the demonologists are like, keep praying directed at him. And so they all turn towards him and they just are pouring their prayers onto him. And Lee eventually is able to breathe again. And
blessed.
The figure dissipates. And Lee asks the demonologist, why is this happening to me? Like, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it like it hurt her, but it didn't do that to her? Like, what is going on? Where did it come from? Is it this house? What's going on? And they started to say things like, well, you might have unknowingly invited it in, because there's situations where people don't know they're inviting things in.
Yeah.
or maybe someone did this to you. Have you ever been around anyone in the occult, or have you been in the occult? And Claire is like, no, we don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
I've never. And he's like, Cheryl. Yeah, Cheryl. I remember Cheryl. You remember Cheryl
Remember
from
Cheryl?
Alyssa? Cheryl. And he
Did he know
immediately-
Cheryl was a witch?
I think so.
Or did he just not? He just picked up on her energy.
I think that he had been told she was in a coven in their regional area.
Okay.
So yes.
So yeah, he's like,
Cheryl.
Let me go clock Cheryl.
Yeah, it was Cheryl. So then the investigators are asking him questions, trying to help him piece it together. And he was like, well, maybe Alyssa started to dabble with her because she started getting dark and irritable and, all of these things.
Yeah.
And then the demonologist said, well, did anything of yours go missing? Did you lose anything that would have been close to you? And that's when he remembered his favorite shirt went missing.
Mm-hmm.
And when he asked Alyssa about it, she was very dismissive and kind of like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like very dismissive.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, cool. Okay. So they were doing dark arts together and they cursed me. Awesome. And so they came to realize it was Alyssa and Cheryl. That was why the nightmare started. That's why he started seeing weird figures. That's why he was having nightmares. And that's why Alyssa was perfectly content whenever Lee decided to leave, because that was probably her goal all along in tormenting him.
That poor man did not deserve any of that. And his psychotic ex-girlfriend is like, you know what? Cursed.
Cursed. You didn't get my coffee grounds?
Cursed. What a bitch.
Isn't that crazy work?
Yeah.
But the story's not completely over.
Oh, no.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
So Lee and Claire think they're safe. They think the demon is completely gone. It has not been active since that day.
Okay.
They are now a month away from giving birth to their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So probably 7 to 8 months of thinking they're in the clear.
Everything's fine. Yeah.
Or 6 or 7, probably more like it. And one night they're folding baby clothes. They're getting it ready. Like, you get prepared.
Yeah.
And the original paranormal investigator that they called shows up at their door and is like, hey, I had a vision. The demon's not gone. I need to do a cleansing.
Come on in.
And they were like, okay, whatever. Like, we're about
Yeah.
to have our baby. So whatever you've got to do, like,
Yeah.
do it. And so she cleanses the house and then leaves. And in that, like, once she left, Claire was still sitting there folding, like she went back to folding her things, and Lee was doing whatever Lee was doing. And Claire started to hear stuff going on in the house again.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, okay, so what's going on? I thought she just cleansed the house. We haven't heard anything. Now she cleansed the house. Now we're hearing stuff again. And she's going to investigate, and she sees the shadow of that man standing just down the hallway a little bit.
Hell nah.
And as she's seeing that, she starts to hear a choking, gargling, like very scary, nasty, gross sound.
Uh-huh.
And she goes to find Lee, and he is laying in bed with blood falling out of his mouth. He's coughing up blood. And aside from coughing, he's unresponsive. So like his body is coughing, but like he is not talking.
He's not conscious.
She calls an ambulance and they go to the hospital. And we're at the hospital. The doctor says he is in liver failure and he is in kidney failure. They have no logical explanation why. They don't know why. And they're going to put him in a medically induced coma until they can figure it out, because if not, they don't think he's going to live throughout the night.
Yeah.
And this sends poor dear Claire
Into labor.
because she thinks her husband is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she's in labor, the demonologists get called. I guess she called them. Somehow they know to come to the hospital. And they were asked to do his last rites. But instead, they were like, let's try one more time to do a prayer over him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will do his last rites if nothing changes. And they brought all of these tools and little instruments. And they, just them two in the room, no nurses or anything, do this prayer. And immediately his vitals are starting to improve. Like his stuff starts going up. The charts are doing good. For the next few weeks, he's fine. They pull him out of his coma and he's fine. He gets to meet his baby that was just born. His wife is there. And they never saw the demon spirit ever again.
That's crazy.
They did ask the demonologist, like, why? What happened? And the demonologist said, we got rid of it. And then that girl came back, like the paranormal investigator.
Uh-huh.
She came back and she might have been trying to do good, but she probably was doing more pagan rites while we were doing like full on Bible verses.
So it pissed it off.
Well, it almost can reignite the spirit because you're using
Like
different forms of prayers.
Yeah.
And you're not asking basically the same God to help you.
Mhm.
And they said that could have been what caused it to come back in like full force.
Damn.
Is because she thought she was doing right, but was using different tools, different prayers, different methods. And it opened the door back up.
Sorry. That's crazy.
So, note to self, don't use multiple different
Yeah. Prayers
paths,
for
things like that.
cleansing. That's wild. You know how many times whenever you said that he was like in liver and kidney failure and stuff, like the amount of times, doesn't happen all the time, but I'd say probably like a handful of times when you have a patient who's like generally pretty healthy for the most part, youngish, not like young like our age, but not like, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And they just like fall ill for no reason. And we're like, what is going on with this person? Like, why is this happening? And so I'm like,
Can we get
should
demonologists?
I start praying over these people?
Now I need to bring the demonologist. Okay.
They're
You
like,
never know.
does anybody have any suggestions?
Actually, I do.
Apparently.
Yeah. I just thought that was
That'd
crazy.
be
I thought that
wild.
was a good little.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, it wasn't anything super long or intense, but it was a little bit.
I liked
spooky.
it. Yeah. I
Short,
liked
sweet,
it.
and scary.
Yeah.
Enough to send me on edge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep seeing the shadow figure for the next few nights. What's scary to me also is that she got pregnant, and I am pregnant, and I read that there's a lot of associations with paranormal when you're pregnant and when you're postpartum
Really?
because you're so like vulnerable
Yeah.
that you are like more open to the paranormal, almost like kids, and because things are more attracted to like children and babies, and I'm like, ooh, cool.
Rock on,
cool.
freaky bro.
Yeah. And not that long ago in some of our episodes, we were talking about baby monitors. And in that episode, I knew I was pregnant. And we were talking about the baby monitors. And that's why Shae was like, well, good luck one day. Like, you hinted at it. Like, good luck one day.
I did.
Yeah. I do not want baby monitor. I'm like, I want baby monitors.
Screw that.
But I'm like facing only at my baby.
Uh-huh.
But then, because I've seen videos where it's kind of like you can see the baby and you can see the room.
No.
And like, well, one mom is like walking in and she is holding the monitor in her hands and she sees someone walking into the room and starts freaking out, and it's herself. But it scares her because she's like, who's in here? And but you can see her like, and then she's like, oh, it's me.
That's gonna be you.
It's 1000% gonna be me. Or I think of Supernatural. Did you ever watched it? The very first episode, the mom in the nursery, and that's where she ends up like a demon's in the nursery. And so when the dad walks in, it's like a demon in the nursery, and the mom is like on the ceiling, attached to the ceiling, like the demon
What the hell?
burned her to the ceiling.
Good Lord.
It's very, yeah. And so I'm like,
Leave
my baby's gonna stay right beside me.
my baby alone.
Wearing crosses everywhere. I don't know. Something.
Amen.
Or I listened to other podcasts and their postpartum, they said that they would be awake because you're awake in the middle of the night. You're breastfeeding. You're feeding it 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, witching hour, which thankfully I already stay awake for hours like that. So it's not going to scare me as bad. But they would say like they would hear feet like walking up and down the hallway, and they'd be like, I'm just going to think it's my grandmother coming to check in that we're doing fine while I'm feeding.
Yeah.
And so the whole pregnancy demon thing freaks me out.
I've never heard of a pregnancy demon before.
It's not necessarily a pregnancy demon, but you're just more
like
vulnerable.
the vulnerability of it all.
Yeah, because your body's already changing something. Like you're already vulnerable. And so then it's like you're inviting more things in.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yoicks.
Yeah. So lots of prayers to be had.
Lots of prayers.
Good wishes.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Wild. What a good story, though.
I thought it was spooky, and I thought it was very ironic. It's like, so I dated a girl and her best friend was a witch, and my life has been hell since.
Yeah. Like, poor guy.
I didn't get the
that.
coffee grounds.
Yeah. My bad. I'll never do that
I'll
again.
never do that again. Whatever you need.
Whatever you need, babe.
But it sounds like Claire. Claire was very sweet.
Yeah.
Claire treated him
sounded
very
like
well.
a great woman.
She listened when he said something was wrong.
She agreed.
Yes, that's the number one thing. I'm like, listen to your partner. Listen to someone. If someone says something is wrong, listen to them.
Correct.
Listen to them. Even if it's like a cry wolf,
Mhm.
listen, because you just don't know.
You never know. You
But-
never know.
No.
Yeah, Alyssa didn't sound like a...
You sound like a nice girl.
She did not.
So I said, young love, don't do it.
Dang.
Not in that case.
Yeah. I mean, hey, not everybody makes it.
Not in my case.
Not
Don't do it.
everybody can be perfect like me.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Big joke. That was a big joke.
She's just playing.
It's just a silly joke.
I'm just messing.
Just joshing.
But yeah. Yeah, yours has turned out all right. He's aight.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's aight.
I keep him. Okay, so as we finished up that story, that was really great and fun and wonderful and scary. It's not quite long enough for a full episode.
No.
And we don't want to short you guys on any time. So we decided that we might as well just read a listener story really quick.
Yep.
And this one's quite long. Seems like there's a lot of detail in here. So we're just going to start here and read this one and see what happens.
I'm down. And you've never read it either. So we're coming into this blind.
Yeah, I haven't read it at all. Landry just went through the emails and just picked one. So here we go.
Let's do
Without
it.
further ado, this is from our friend named Chloe. Chloe says, "Hello, I think I have been listening in podcast land for ages and commenting on everything. I am home a lot as I'm a carer and go on 10 kilometer to 12 kilometer walks daily or every other day. I don't know how many miles that is.
I don't either. So this is our friend from Australia.
Oh, yeah,
that's
this is
in our
our
Discord.
Yes, okay, that's what I thought. That makes sense.
I think so.
Hi, Chloe. She said, so I listen to my podcast then too. I have 3 stories that I need to wrangle with to type out, as grammar and text form is not my strong suit. I can get carried away with the fluff, so I will try my hardest. I have no expectations of them being broadcasted, and I have no issues with when or where, and I don't mind my first name being used. But mostly, I want you ladies to hear my stories. So, dreams. I have been able to explore my dreams since I was a kid. To make myself dream or to even stay asleep, to keep dreaming. I can intentionally dream about what I am wanting to, and days later, I can still be making myself have the same dream as I was to explore it more. That's crazy. I've always wanted to be able to do that.
Because, you wake up and you're like, wait,
dang it.
I need more of that.
Yeah.
And you try and go back to bed really quickly to try and get back to it. And sometimes you can, but most of the time you cannot.
It's not. It changes something completely different.
That is so cool.
That's really cool. Intentionally in first person form. Oh, so I can explore it more intentionally in first person form. Even though they are movie-like, there are significant people in them, and just a tone of symbolic stuff that literally takes all night to try and decipher. Like a bathtub in the middle of the room or blue walls. Sounds ridiculous, but I always know the things mean a thing, but things that can be referencing my own feelings and how those people make me feel. Like drowning in a bathtub, being held down by an unseen force, but I know it's a certain person. That's how I feel. That's how I interpret it. I have dreamed about people before I met them, down to their thick eyelashes and freckles. I can smell in my dream, and I can hear things like cars driving past me in my dreams or street traffic. I have a really good memory generally, so I can remember them. And my dad has this best friend living with us for years. Because he broke up with his fiance and was depressed, that's why he was living with them. So much so he was family, and I called him my uncle. His name was Pedro. Pedro and my father were like brothers. We moved houses and towns, and he moved with us. Nothing ever broke our family unit that we had for years. Eventually, Pedro moved out and got a girlfriend, and my dad made other friends. These other friends seemed to drive a wedge between their quote-unquote bro friendship, and they started to visit each other less and do less family sort of things together, and my dad started to complain about the things that Pedro was doing that he always heard from other people. One day, the day after the dream, in the morning that I had told my dad about it, and after the event that I mentioned and my dad acknowledging it, she said, my father picked me up from school and dropped me off at home. We lived on a farm in our town, just my dad and I. My dad said that he was going to Pedro's and he'd be back later. I was used to being an independent kid. I was probably 12 years old. Later, after dark, my dad pulled up home. The back door was open so the dogs could go out. But he took ages to get inside, and I actually stood up and started to walk to the back door. What follows next is the exact parts of my dream from this point on. Not the whole event, but it was like snapshots. Photo movie images I took with my eyes, and yes, that's how it feels. It feels like I used my eyes as a camera, and I snapped them, and that's what I saw in my dream. So this is all dream from here on.
Mm-hmm.
What I see in the back door was the silhouette of my father, but he was dark, and as he stepped forward, he was covered from head to toe in blood. He was wobbly and woozy. He said, quote, Pedro tried to kill me. end quote, and that we needed to go to the hospital. In this moment, he is driving. I am constantly watching him, me looking at the road, the floor, at my feet. There's pies and pasties and packets on the floor, thinking, I have seen this before. Then looking back up at my dad, at his head, back to the road, to the floor. Where have I seen this before? Back to the road, my dad, etc. That's how I'm looking around sitting in the passenger seat. I was contemplating what I needed to do. Dad looked like he was drifting in and out of consciousness, but it was getting worse. He was less alert. He was blinking more, and each blink in his eyes stayed closed a little bit longer. And this went on for maybe 15 minutes. Then we got pulled over by the police. Dad was swerving. This was 1999, I think. We didn't have a mobile or landline. Or 1998. That's in parentheses.
Yeah.
She said, the policeman walked up to the car and leaned in. Obviously, he talked to my dad about what happened, and he took us to the emergency part of the hospital. My dad was admitted on site, and that was all I saw of him for like 2 weeks. I went on to a short-term emergency care situation while he was in the hospital. When he got out, we had to go to the police station to talk to a detective. I remember sitting there on a chair, more off to the side, and the detective was talking to my dad. My dad had his leather jacket that I was wearing the day of the attack over his knee. He told the detectives what had happened. Pedro attacked him in his horse saddle room, but the saddles were in the middle of the room and they sort of scrambled around them. Dad's head, face, and arms were all cut. Pedro had a big knife, and Dad was putting his arms up to shield his head from the oncoming attacks to his head. Dad got out of the room, and they sort of wrestled, and then he was able to get away from there and drive home. Pedro never went after him. The detective told my dad that the leather jacket he had casually sitting across his knee is what saved his life. It was a proper biker leather jacket. And Dad raising his arm and the knife more hitting his jacket saved his life. We ended up moving away very quickly. 1 year later, Pedro committed suicide. Now, what I saw in my dream, Dad and I were having a picnic after he picked me up from school. There were pies and pasties in individual packets for the picnic. We were sitting on a rug like a proper picnic, and then there was Dad's dark silhouette in the doorway and him covered in blood. Then we were driving. Those images I saw as he was driving, the snapshots, were in my dream. Then I saw the cop leaning through the door of the car, the same cop, just like it was in real life at the time. Then I saw the detective, the same detective. The whole drive was like deja vu. I knew I was concerned about Dad. I was trying to be prepared to take over driving and to work out what to do. I remember being stunned, and I remember thinking, this is my dream, all at the same time, and being very scared for my dad and very confused why Pedro would do that. That is the real story of the most real my dreams have ever gotten. It wasn't something made up. It was like real life snapshots and real people in my dream the night before. That woke me up early in the morning because it was what I called having a nightmare, and I told my dad I had a nightmare about him. I said we were having a picnic where you were, and then you were driving and bleeding, and of course at the moment I had no idea what all the snapshots and pieces were. It was more like projector slides and new frames of like where things were being pulled into view. And she says, thanks for listening to my story. I have the heebie-jeebies now that I gave myself. I'll email at another time with 2 more stories. And that's about the extent of my woo-woo, she says. Cheers.
That's crazy. That's like deja vu, like a form of deja vu.
Serious deja vu.
Yeah.
My eyes are like crossed from reading all those tiny little words.
Yeah, I have my font really small. That's probably why I can't read half the time.
Probably. I was kind of confused for a moment because I was like, no way this happened. Okay, it did happen.
It did happen.
And yeah, you dreamed it before?
She looked at me, she said, I'm kind of confused. And I like went over it. And then as soon as, right after you said it, she reiterated what was confusing you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I should have just kept reading. That's my bad. But that's wild, dude. That's crazy deja vu.
Yeah, I think I would be very like terrified having that about my dad and then seeing it. I'd be like, oh my gosh, what's next?
Right.
I mean, thankfully, you know that you're in the vehicle with him now. Like he's getting to safety, but
what the heck?
Yeah, because I already have like bad dreams about my dad, and I immediately am like, and I call him. I'm like, are you good? You
right.
Okay?
As you should. I feel like most people would do that.
Yeah.
If they have like a specific, detailed, like scary dream about somebody close to them.
Yeah. See, but my last one I had about my dad wasn't like, that's like realistic. That's like, you're in the vehicle with him. It makes sense. You're not somewhere you shouldn't be, things like that. Like my dream whenever I had it about dad is that I was back in Lubbock and that he was in Lubbock with me, which doesn't make
it was like
any sense. Like
skewed a little bit.
There's pieces of it that I was like, that doesn't make sense. Hers is like, it might not make sense, but it's not, you're not in such a different environment that it's that confusing.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that you could, I don't even know if that would be a dream. I think that's some sort of deja vu because I think that
everything was so specific.
And seeing the cop, like seeing these things that ended up happening the next day, the same detective coming up with faces you've probably never seen before.
Yeah.
That's the part that gets me. Because you can dream about people's faces and you may think you've never seen the face before, but you've probably seen it, like walking around the mall. They say your brain cannot make up a face.
Right.
So
exactly.
I'm like, there's some sort
like
of
out
deja
of nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, there's some sort of deja vu there and some sort of like time warp situation. That almost makes me wonder if you can like time travel in your sleep. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, girl.
There's something different than just a dream.
Yeah, because it seems like she's very like in tune with her dreams too. Like she can really like
narrow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And like be in control almost.
There is certain dreams that I'm in and I will be able to say, you're in control. You can stop this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had some bad dreams and I've been able to stop the bad dream by being like, this is your dream. You've got it. But I don't know how I ever get to that point. It only happens sometimes. Other times I'll have really bad dreams and I can't get myself out of it.
Do anything about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very interesting though. I want to know the concept of that is kind of giving like time travel, deja vu.
Yeah.
Something to see the faces ahead of time because they do say your brain cannot make up a face. So you have some sort of something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the right term for that.
I don't either. Like being able to see the freaking future.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Psychic. Some sort of like psychic ability for sure there. Certainly.
If you ever had a dream about me, you better let me know what it says.
Yeah, same. Showing up and covered in blood. Can you warn me?
Yeah, give
what
me
was
a
I
warning
wearing so I know not to wear it that day?
Yeah,
like,
I won't wear that. I won't leave the house.
Yeah, I will sit at home.
Mm-hmm.
The burnt toast theory, I follow that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To a T.
Something's wrong. We're staying here.
Yeah, I don't have to leave. It was hard for me to get out of my door just now. That's cool. I'll turn around and I'll stay at home.
Yep.
Do not care.
Heard.
Yeah.
Heard that.
Listen to my sign. Speaking of the dream, since we're on that, my mom called me this morning. I guess she just listened to our last episode and was like, I can't believe you mentioned the spiders I had mentioned in the dreams episode and didn't tell my story. And I was like, because she just had a spiders dream.
Oh, really?
Like last week, the week before, not that long ago. And so my mom has in her room, she's got a couple different laundry hampers and things like that. Like some are clean, some are dirty, whatever. She's got them in her laundry hampers and she has them organized. And my mom went to sleep one night and woke up in the middle of the night. And she said there was like a spider hanging over her bed, like over her face. And she was like swatting at it, like, what the heck? Like, get away from my face. And actually got out of bed in her dream and was like trying to run to her bedroom door to like get out of her room to get away from this spider. And so she's like crawling and she's falling backwards over all the things that are in the way to her door, like her laundry hampers and things like that. She's falling over all of it. And she's fighting this spider and she just knew that it was in her hair now. And she actually woke up on the ground in her room at her door. So my mom had like halfway walked across her room and actually fallen over all of this shit trying to get away from this spider. And she said she woke up and was like she woke up turning her light on, basically.
She's like, what the heck?
And was like, okay.
How did I get here?
Yeah. She's like, why didn't you tell my dream? Well, now I've told your dream. I was like, I don't know. I just didn't tell it. Because that's not the kind of spiders I was talking about. I was talking about the REM sleep spiders.
Yeah.
Which is common. We had someone actually comment and say, I've experienced that.
Ooh. Spooky.
I've seen it on Facebook. Like, it's not my cousin, but it's like a second cousin that I would call a cousin. It's like someone else. It's like on dad's side. So it's not really, well, either way, whatever. He has the dreams about spiders too. And so that's where I'd read like, it's very common because other people were commenting on it. And I remember being like, well, I've experienced this as well.
Aww.
But the spiders are never coming at me or attacking me. They're always just like large and like on my wall. And they're like crawling and then I'll open my eyes and they'll be in completely different places on my walls.
I don't like it.
But I never feel like they're like not aggressive or anything. I just like see them.
I don't like to even see them.
But I always was like, why? But apparently it's very common.
Weird.
Yeah.
If I dream about spiders tonight, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Mine is still snakes. I mentioned my snake dream. snakes is what pisses me off. And I'm on the North Texas what snake is this page. And I'll scroll and I'll see one right before bed and I'm like, oh, I just know.
Just get off of the page.
I know, but I also like knowing what snakes are what. Like I actually like to know what I'm dealing with.
Which is
so
how you should
I just don't like how much I see them. Or like there was one post on that page and someone had gotten their Christmas tree out of their shed and they had a snake in their Christmas tree. And I was like, that's it. I'm buying a new one.
Ah!
Or they had like a picture frame in their living room. And it was like, it had like molded itself into the picture frame into like the divots and stuff. Like the snake had been like it had gotten on the frame and like made itself comfortable there.
Oh, I don't like that.
No. And my bed in my room is 3 leather, like my headboard, 3 leather squares. And then they have like the stuff that holds the leather, but it's like little, I don't even know what they'd be called, like little brass.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about. You can imagine it. Looks like little like brass buttons basically that like are just like a decorative statement. And so I can imagine that, like I've always imagined this after I watched that or saw like that snake, I imagine the snake being like
in there
engraved into my bed. Or I saw one where someone was like, what kind of snake is this? It was in my son's pillowcase. And I'm sure her son put it in his pillowcase. But since then I like beat my pillow at nighttime. I'm like, is there a snake in my pillowcase?
There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah. I still check my shoes for spiders. Like,
oh, I do too.
I'll knock them out.
I do too.
Even just in my closet.
Yeah. Always.
Terrified. Shae's stepdad had a snake fall on his head one time at his trailer.
Oh my God, I don't even know that story.
You don't remember that? He opened the front door and it like fell off the front at the top.
Yeah. No, I remember it.
I remember that story because I lived in a trailer house whenever I heard that story, and I was like, after that, I'd walk.
We also lived like right in front of a creek. Like there was a big, huge creek like right behind the house.
Yeah. Well, I did too. I lived in the woods in mine, and it set me off. And I don't like snakes. That scared me. And then whenever I lived in my duplex, me and my brother lived in a duplex together for a very short time. And Aaron had walked outside one time to go get something out of like one of the vehicles or something like that. And he called me. Thankfully, he had his phone, and he was like, there's a snake between me and the door. And I was like, okay, but like where at? And he was like, it's like on the wall. The door is right here. And it was on the brick. Like it had crawled up the brick. It was a big black snake. I was like, I ain't opening that door because I'm closest. He was like, I just need you to open the door so I can like run in. And I was like,
boy,
no,
be a man.
He ended up coming inside, but I was like, I ain't going. Hell no. You're on your own.
Miss me with that shit.
Yeah, you are on your own.
He ain't gonna get you. He's scared of you. That snake more scared of you than you are of it. I promise.
Yeah, and he's got fangs.
And it's a rat snake, so he can't hurt you.
He can't open his mouth and bite me.
Yes, but he can't kill you.
No, but do you want to be bit by a snake? We had this same conversation.
And I'm going to keep having this conversation.
I do not want to be bit by a snake. I don't care if it's poison. I don't care if it's a garden snake.
A non-venomous snake is not going to go out of its way to bite you unless you are grabbing it and pissing it off.
No, I'm good.
Unless you step on it or if you're chasing it or picking it up, it ain't going to bite you.
I don't want to
promise.
They just are weird. I don't even like the way they look. I don't like snakes.
Okay. That's okay.
They scare me so bad. They are like in my dreams. There was one dream actually. I dreamt that we were all at Dad and Mantha's house, and I've had this dream multiple times, and like their dog pen is down, and we had all gone to feed the dogs together, and there was snakes in the dog pen, and they followed us all up to the house. So like we're like chasing us, and some of them are bouncing on like spirals, bouncing like Tigger's tail. And we all run inside, and like we're all jumping on surfaces to like get away from these snakes. But the snakes, like I said, some of them were like coiled up and jumping. And so like they can still almost get all of us. And like someone's on a kitchen, I'm on the kitchen counter, someone's on table, someone's on another kitchen counter. And I've had that dream a few times, and they never are able to bite me, but they're always able to like jump up like they're trying to bite me. Mm-hmm. And then Ella mentioned that she had a dream very similar. And I've like never really shared that dream out loud, I don't think. And Ella said something about feeding the dogs, having snakes chase them up to the house.
That's weird.
Yeah. And she told me that like not like within this last year. And I was like, that's gross because I have this dream and I've had it multiple times.
Ew.
But I think mine stemmed from like feeding the dogs as kids.
Yeah.
And always being nervous
being aware
that I
of
see snakes because Dad has tons of copperheads out there.
Yeah.
Like Dad's colorblind. So one time I think he saw a copperhead and was like, but is it?
Yeah.
Yes,
yes,
it
sir,
is.
it is.
That was a copperhead.
most likely.
Or he has a hard time seeing them because they blend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they blend good.
Yeah. So I think that's probably where mine stems from. Ella doesn't have to go feed the dogs at night, so I don't know where hers came from. But I thought it was strange. She had a very, very close dream to mine.
Yeah, that is weird.
And like it was at Dad Mantha's and everything.
Strange.
I agree.
Crazy how the world works.
Yeah, I really want to know more about dreams. We had someone in our Discord went and did a dream interpretations class this weekend, and I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. We should probably go to one.
Sounds fun.
We should go take one.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Well, I think this episode is officially long enough for our people.
I think we've hit it.
I didn't want it to be too short. We recorded, and I was like, that might not be it. Let's add a listener story at the end. But if you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, all the good things. Honestly, throwing some listener stories in at the end isn't bad. If we got more, we could do it that way. Or you can
we have quite a few now.
We do. We could start doing it that way, or we can still do just full episodes. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
What you'd like to hear, how you'd like to go about it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good things. If you have your own listener story or recommendations or just want to jibber jabber, send us an email to sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Discord that's completely free where we talk and have ideas, and you can share suggestions, recommendations, memes, all sorts of fun things. We've got a really cool little group going over there that we talk in pretty much every single day, and we talk about everything under the sun. Today we were talking about, there was on the way here where I was reading about dream catchers that people were talking about. So we talk about a bunch of different random things, and it's just nice and it's fun. So feel free to go join that. And yeah, I think that's the spill.
I think that's it.
So we will see you.
See you on Friday.
Bye.